I know, I saw that. Mhm.
Mike.
Hey, Cantors, we're on TV.
We're live.
I think it is. I think it's streamed.
We are live stream.
Live stream. Everything.
Yeah, we're live stream.
All right. Good deal. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the February 28th Apex Parks Rec and Cultural Resources Advisory Commission meeting. First, we'd like to start off with a moment of invocation. Thank you. Next will be the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So much.
As always, we are sent the meeting minutes from the previous meeting ahead of time. Give us a chance to review those. If everyone's had a chance to do that, we just need a motion for the approval of those minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and properly second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Right. Next will be our director's report.
So we've got some introductions.
Hey,
so
packed house today.
Yeah, no doubt. So we'll start with Allie. She's going to be introducing Jen. Come on up.
I'm just gonna stand up. It's pretty formal.
Come up to the mic.
This is formal.
Now we're gonna be formal. All right. I'm Allie Perlasky. It's been a while. We have a new employee, Jennifer Cacano. She's been with us officially in a full-time capacity since January 22nd. But she was part-time and helped us open the senior center. Like before people were allowed in, she was in there helping us with the concept and everything like that. So we're very glad that we were able to hire her on full-time. Great. Do you want to
All right. Yeah, I had this all prepared, actually. I'm Jennifer Calcagno, and I have been here about 3 years as an LSE. And I am full-time now, and I am thoroughly grateful, and I'm very happy to serve the seniors. And I think my official title is Customer Service Specialist at the Senior Center.
Welcome.
That's it. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. And then we have Megan. She's going to introduce Blake.
Hey y'all, how are y'all?
Good. How are you?
Good. So Megan Jones, Recreation Program Specialist over Fun Days, Track Out, and Summer Camp programs. I'm here to introduce Blake Campbell, who is one of our 30-hour camp directors. As y'all know, with the budget from this current year that allotted for my position, it also allotted for 2 30-hour camp director positions. So I'll let Blake kind of talk about himself and his role with our department.
Yeah. I'm Blake. I've been here about a year and a half. I was a LSE for a little bit up until I guess August, and then I became a camp director. I worked at the Y for like 10 years as a counselor and a director. So just really enjoy just building programs, and I think the program here that we've built with Track Out has continued to grow. So I hope we can keep it going and try to make it a very fun and inclusive and safe environment for all the kids. So love to be here.
Great. Thank you.
It's been a huge success, by the way.
Yes.
No, thank you.
And Ellison, you got to meet Mike. All right. So Ellison is going to be one of Mike's students. That is Wynn.
I'd say lucky you.
It actually
but-
officially started today, so you're behind already as well.
Wow.
There you go.
Glad he wasn't my professor.
So, I mean, I could jump into some updates for some projects. So Beaver Creek, we are just at the finish line of getting to some construction starting. So our goal is to have construction start at some point during March timeframe. We had a pre-construction meeting today, so lots of positive energy there now after the long road. So that's pretty awesome. For the street hockey courts over at ACP, which I know some interest there, obviously. Legal is currently reviewing our RFQ for design, or not design, sorry, for our construction contract. So to put that out for bid. So hopefully, I don't know that we have a time frame for that yet.
Said this week.
But we're knocking on the door of that one too. Yes.
One of the things that I'd like to talk with you about, and Angela, maybe you about it as well. I've had a couple conversations with the NHL on these facilities, and to my understanding, there's been very little impact studies done on their investment in these facilities. Yeah, who's using it, what impact has it had on the community, those kinds of things. So I'm interested in taking the lead on that.
Okay.
And it's really just a matter of having access to who's using it, what's the programming that's going on, maybe telling the story a little bit about what it took to get it in place. I think Parks and Rec facility is a little bit unique in terms of those facilities across the country. So
Very good.
yeah,
We'll have the combo.
yeah,
For
I'll
sure.
follow up after.
Sounds good. Middle Creek Greenway, under construction. We had to ask for additional funding. We had a bunch of undercut issues in phase one. So we got a little bit more contingency monies there last night from council, so that was very helpful. And so we're steadily moving forward with that project. The West Street project, we have settled with Timmons for the design for that park. And so hopefully we'll have a design in place over the next however many months, and we can start moving forward with West Street renovation. So lots going on. Apex West under construction. Not really sure on a time frame for that. Do you have any dates?
180 days and
Yeah.
they're a couple months in.
Programming's killing it right now. Our athletic side of things fills up consistently. Wait list still, which is, I mean, that kind of tells you what we do from a programming side, at least in athletics. Senior center is full consistently. Big budget request for additional programming for next year. So, and that's across the board. It's not just on the senior side or the athletic side. We're just growing, and it takes a little more money to do that. So we've got a lot of requests in. So yeah, that's all I got.
So the RFQ for the environmental center.
Yes, so the RFQ for the environmental center, we're not actually managing that project. That's under the capital projects manager, but that went out, I think, yesterday. It may have been the day before. But,
Couple days ago. A couple days, yeah.
so that's out now too.
Pleasant Park Field's at capacity in terms of programming.
Pleasant Park is packed all the time. And it's actually packed more on the amenity area than it is at the fields, but no, the fields are packed too.
So I'm assuming, like I've gone out a few times, family was in and couldn't even get onto the playground.
Right.
It was that busy. Is that, I'm assuming that's because of all the development that goes out, is that west towards Jordan Lake, and that this is the first
I don't
spot?
think that that's what it is.
I think it's the popularity.
It's-
'Cause
yes.
It's the,
Yeah.
it's the new shiny
Newness.
park
Yes.
with
It's-
the really cool play features.
It's
that-
been its own
It's-
kind
it was
of
amazing.
driving force.
It's a draw.
It's still in magazines. It's still, I don't know if it's hitting in news anymore, but
Yeah.
when we opened, it got so much traction. And then it just continued to get traction. So it's people from all over.
So can I make a reservation for my grandchildren to have?
9 o'clock at night.
You get a ticket.
Take it for the side.
Use your time.
Yeah.
Craig, to your point, we've met multiple friends from Chapel Hill, from Graham, from Mebane, who are coming here with their families to go to the park. They're like, "Hey, you're in Apex." I'm like, "Yes, I live down the block. I'll see you there." The new director in Carborough, JG, was just here not a couple weeks ago, texting me. He's like, "How so it's, to your point, I think it's become a kind of kids together,
It's a
similar to that. It's a destination right now, and hopefully it'll remain that way."
And then once
Outstanding.
our goal is to have the splash pad open in the spring. So that'll be another drive.
Is it ready to go? Is it?
No,
is there
it's
any-
not.
Okay.
Can I
We are working through that.
can I ask you a question? A question you might not want to answer. Is
Save it for later.
no, it's well, because maybe this can help when you talk about budgetary stuff. Are there certain things in terms of wear and tear that maybe weren't expected that are potentially happening? Or I noticed
from a
certain,
maintenance perspective, they're already starting to work on some of the playground equipment. With saying that though, I mean, playground equipment that's heavily used are going to have maintenance on them anyway. So, I mean, we're prepared for that.
cool. It's wonderful. We go there. Sometimes we pull out because it's too busy and we go somewhere else, but we
We're
go
not
there.
as prepared when people use equipment like how that's not supposed to be used.
I've noticed that. I've noticed a lot of that. But no, it's wonderful. We're there at least once a week with our kids. But I noticed like some of the sidewalks that the paint is already gone, and
And that's something that we're working with the general contractor on to kind of come up with a solution.
that was gonna be my question. Are you within the framework where
We're
it's like,
still within the time frame.
that's all?
And
Thanks.
and then the landscaping side, they still have some work to do for landscaping, just from phase one. So we're still having conversations about things like that too.
It's awesome. Our kids love it.
Any other questions? And I want to give a shout out to Renee,
Oh,
and Lisa, and Angela
Yeah.
last night, who were presented with Women's History Month. So
Thank
that
you.
was pretty some great representation from a Parks and Recreation perspective. They were representing, and then there were at least 3 others here, and I'm gonna miss somebody, but it was Tayon, and Tina Sherman, and Nicole Dozier, and Miss Ferguson. Can't remember her first name, but so there were several others, but that was really cool. It's good stuff.
yeah,
That's awesome.
we really appreciate it. It's a very nice gesture. I appreciate
And
it.
y'all are on the board, right? So you have a flyer.
Yes, we're the designing women.
They are the
There's 2 of them.
It's
So
awesome.
if you're interested,
Yeah.
these 3 ladies will be a part of that.
Who gets to be the Delfsburg? Feisty one.
It's a great,
Me.
the others on the panel, it's worth, it was fun just hearing to prepare for it,
Yeah,
the input of the people that are on it.
there's a lot of knowledge on
Really good ideas.
a lot of them, and the moderator is great. Chuck
Yeah,
Flink's
Chuck Flink is
wonderful.
great.
So
Very good. Any other questions? All right.
Thanks, Craig. Moving on through program report, nothing there. Chairman's report, nothing from me. I do want to give way to anyone that would have any public comment. Any old business? Takes us to new business, and that's the discussion and possible motion regarding the proposed Peak Landing subdivision.
Do we have? Do we have a map? Oh, there it is, sorry. I have the other one.
I didn't do this one.
You don't have to be excused.
No, not this one.
All right, well, we'll give you the broad shot first. All right, so this is Peak Landing subdivision. It's located on the north side of old US 1 highway and was rezoned in 2014 to medium density residential conditional zoning. Because of that, you're seeing it at the time of site plan, not at the time of the rezoning, although at the time a recommendation was made. Since then, they had a site plan or a subdivision plan that was approved, and it has since expired, so they have to go back through this process. It's just over 27 acres, and while they originally allowed 120 units, their plan now is to propose to have 73 single-family units, single-family detached units. Since the time of the approval, let me get back to the other plan so you can see it better. During the rezoning, the parcel that is on the south side of old US 1 highway and north of CSX Railroad was conditioned to be RCA. But since that time, that location is not only within this orange parkland search area,
It is also shown as having greenway and is within the area that we've designated as a future linear park. And so we've been working with the applicant on what there is available for us to do to be able to implement the master plan in both ways. So while it's not a part of this action and our recommendation has not changed from the previous one we made for it to be a fee in lieu, the reason that we're doing so is because it cannot be dedicated as parkland as it is as conditioned to be RCA, but it can be dedicated to the town as RCA. But that requires administrative recommendation and town council action. And so we've been advised that it's the intent of the applicant to make that dedication request. So it would be dedicated to the town, and it would, in a sense, function as parkland with the restriction that basically the only thing that could happen on it would be a greenway. And so it would implement our plan of the linear park and a greenway that would be utilized on that property. But since we don't know the alignment of the rest of the parcels or if we and how we would obtain the rest of the linear park, we didn't want to construct a greenway at this point because it might not line up with others, and then it would impact the RCA if we had to try to go back and restructure something. So our current recommendation is for a fee in lieu of dedication, with the understanding that they intend to come and ask for it to be dedicated as RCA to the town, and that we could have the entire red parcel deeded over and recorded as a public greenway easement in addition to the RCA. So we'd be able to facilitate installing a greenway anywhere within that property at the time of development that we chose, and then we would maintain the rest of the property. So our recommendation is for a fee in lieu and dedication, but in case there was all the other questions, that's really the only action that we can take, but knowing that you know that we're not ignoring our plans, we're going to implement them over the long term with this project. So any questions?
So Angela, we talked about this as because it's dedicated as RCA, it can't be part of the linear park, correct? Unless the town's going to take ownership as offsite RCA.
Right.
So the town will then have control. Can the town go rezone in the future to allow a park at that location?
It would stay as RCA and we would just have the greenway.
But could the town come back in and ask for a rezoning for it?
I don't believe so because it meets their obligation for RCA, so it would make their neighborhood non-compliant.
But once it's dedicated to the town has control of the land. Because we just did another offsite RCA close by.
It's not, I don't think, it's not off, in this case, it's not, it's recorded RCA for the project. It's not off-site. It's not an off-site dedication.
But why is it being dedicated to the town?
The town we would like for it to be under our ownership so that we have control over it.
And once the town owns it, the town can.
Well, control over it, it's still been designated and dedicated as RCA. It's not dedicated as parkland. That's why they don't get any credit for the dedication.
Correct. And they shouldn't. They're dedicating it as RCA.
Right.
And they're doing the fee in lieu, or assuming that we vote on fee in lieu.
Right.
Well, it helps offset other RCA that might be.
No, it's just the RCA for that subdivision. So it's not a you know, an issue where you're doing offsite and it's calculating for another project. And in our opinion, out of all of the corridor, this is the narrowest spot of this linear park. So it's the least likely for us to have anything other than the greenway through it, because the wider sections would have maybe a parking lot and or a playground or something along the linear park. So
I agree with the fee in lieu. My comment is that I would like, because I see all this from the future Richardson Road extension back to, I forget the name of the little subdivision there, just to the east of it. I see all that being a really cool linear park in that location, especially when Richardson Road is coming down to US 1 with a future bridge and interchange. That's a great location. If Apex has control and can find some way that could be part of a linear park in the future, I would ask staff, Parks and Rec, planning, transportation, whoever, to try to find a way in the future to get control, own the property, because once you guys own it, you can, to a certain extent, you can offset other RCA to replace that if it moves.
if we needed to, you know,
That's
the idea is for now, we see it as a part of the linear park, but it would be the only piece that would just have greenway traveling through.
For now. for
It
now.
can still be natural and feel like it's part of the
Correct.
park without
Yeah.
having to have.
Right, it wouldn't have to have a
program
separate
component.
designation or be rezoned to CB and all that, so. So we were comfortable with this and felt like this was a good way to take an old project and put it into our new plan and implement it.
With all those questions, I'll be happy to make a motion to accept fee in lieu for the Peak Landing subdivision 14CZ29 master subdivision plan approval. Is that, it's going back to master subdivision, right?
Yes, it is
okay, yeah.
currently.
Then that's-
This is the last step for them to get plan approval.
Perfect. With
Second.
credit.
Before we, can I just ask what may be a silly question? What does RCA stand for?
Resource Conservation Area.
And
Every subdivision that occurs in the town is required to set aside a certain percentage of their project as resource conservation area.
And there's only some conditions that,
The orange fence.
that are considered resource conservation area. I mean, areas of like
so
existing
it's
trees. and-
protect, becomes essentially a
Correct.
protected area, a natural
Correct.
protected area.
The only benefit that we've had, if you will, that has allowed us to do greenways specifically is that greenways are one of the only things allowed in resource conservation area. And so that's the little piece here that's, you know, it's usually protected and undisturbed area within a project, and it's very specific on what counts and doesn't count. But oftentimes within a project, it's the area where the greenways are most likely to be located, and so we sort of benefit from we're not taking additional land, we're putting this greenway within that same
Right,
protected space.
that makes sense.
So you can,
I understand that.
and I think you answered, so you can make changes to the, like, to build the greenway, you can move a tree, or, because I know typically RCA, you can't disturb it, right?
Correct,
But for a greenway, you can.
correct.
Okay.
We, you know, we're supposed to do that within the framework of
Sure.
best practices, but yes.
Okay.
If we need to clear some trees to make the greenway happen, it's still considered providing a natural space
Sure.
that's beneficial to the community and maintains the natural character of it, which is where people want to ride their bikes and walk.
Yeah, and it's permeable land and all the other important parts. Sweet.
So,
I'll second the motion then.
All right. Motion and properly second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Thank you, Angela.
short and quick tonight.
No more agenda items, just need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Alan Bunn.